Hey, darling. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Trying to get some ones up and out early for you this week. So, well, finishing off last week, I'm getting one up for you early this week. Let's start off, yeah, in a simple seated. Again, you can always come onto your back as we're breathing, but allowing yourself just to come into your breath. So nice deep inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Again, big inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. Two more. And exhale. Last one, big inhale. And exhale. Always starting off our practice from a space of gratitude. We give gratitude to the universe, a deep weaving of wisdom and knowledge and love, recognizing an energy that's bigger than us, that we're still collectively a part of. Give gratitude to this earth. She reminds us that we live in a space of abundance rather than a space of scarcity. That we have everything that we need and that we ourselves are more than enough. Give gratitude to the indigenous peoples of these lands. The Northern Cheyenne and the Crow, the Salish, the Blackfoot and the Lakota tribes. And always reminding ourselves that land acknowledgement is just the first baby step in us coming into right relationship and doing the right thing. Goes thought, word, and then deed. Give gratitude for this practice of yoga and for Black and Brown people as the original creators and sustainers of this practice. The space of ahimsa, also known as nonviolent or loving action. Give gratitude to our bodies and to ourselves, to our own ancestors and our own lineage, recognizing our and their trials and triumphs, tribulations, traumas, and transgressions, and holding ourselves responsible for how we choose to repair and restore from damages that have been done in order to build a peaceful and loving world for 7 generations and beyond. I'm smiling because one of the things I've been encouraging folks in classes is to really take a look at as we're moving through spaces of gratitude, right? Where your body just kind of habitually begins to kind of shift. So fingertips, right? Or where it just starts to kind of shift where you're like, I am uncomfortable in my legs today, right? So depending on how much you can stay in stillness when you're seated, right? And how your body reacts to certain statements, right, that are made, even if they're a statement that we make each and every time that we come to class, right? And so I really want to be transparent about why it is that I consistently come back to these spaces of gratitude, right? One, because I think that a lot of us feel like we think that we're comfortable with it, but our bodies are not actually comfortable with it all the time. Right? The sense of processing, the sense of giving gratitude to Black and Brown people, the sense of giving gratitude to indigenous people. I feel like there are things that are guarded within us, and the more that we do it, right, the more we actually are grateful for, right? And the more that our bodies begin to settle into a space and a feeling of calm and peace and the ability to process as we move after. And if there's a person or persons, place or places that you'd like to dedicate your practice to today, you can draw them into your mind's eye and then draw them down to your heart center and send them love. Big inhale. And exhale. When you're ready, slowly blink open your eyes. Right, so recently I've done a lot of vagus nerve stuff and kind of releasing a big body tension. And so I feel like I'm very much I've been in a space where I'm antsy, right? Where I want to be able to move and shift more. So that sometimes happens and comes out in the space of like, right, working with my own body to release things, going for a walk, you can go for a run, all of like these types of things, okay? In terms of how do you shake things off from your actual body, okay? Ground down through that right palm, sweep your left hand up and over. You can come all the way down onto your form if you like, or you can stay lifted. Big inhale here. Exhale, roll up through the heart and the chest and bring the hand back behind you. Keeping your lift here. 2 more big breaths. Exhale. And you can always play around with it, right? Just because you come into a deep stretch of a posture doesn't mean that you can't come back out of it. And then slowly move yourself through your center line. Same thing on that opposite side. Ground down, reach through your fingertips, pull. Ground down through that right sit bone, the sit bone of the extended arm. Maybe your hand comes back behind you. You roll open through the chest. Maybe your eyes move to the sky. And then slowly press yourself all the way back up. Take your hands back behind you and you can kind of just cradle your elbows on either side. And maybe fold yourself down with your elbows still kind of cradled. So the cradling of the elbows is a good kind of stepping stone and getting into a reverse prayer. A reverse prayer. So I like looked around there to see if there was like a prayer picture on the wall, but there's not. Go ahead and grab your opposite elbows, right? So the opposite grab that you just took, and then pull yourself forward. Again, you can always kind of shift back and forth side to side. And then bring yourself back. And then take your hands up into a reverse prayer back behind you. Right? If that's a lot on your wrists, just stay with your elbows, right? You can always bring your reverse prayer lower down onto your back. Right? A lot of times you can start off here. Hands are separate. Maybe they're here. Maybe you crawl them up more towards the back side of your heart. And breathe wherever you're at. Exhale. One more time, big inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Release your arms. Bring yourself all the way down and onto your back. I'm going to do some eagle crunches. So take your right leg over the top of your left. Hook your right foot back behind your left calf, and then right arm is going to come underneath your left arm. Palms are going to come together to touch, and then inhale. Find your extension. Your chin kind of moves in between that little tiny V that you make with your biceps. And then exhale, squeeze. Inhale out, exhale, squeeze. We go for 8, 7, 6, 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Squeeze. Release the arms, let the back of the skull come down to the earth. Take your sole of that left foot down to the earth and then let your knees rock over to one side. Let's go to the left as you look out past your right fingertips. Big inhale here. So it's a big release and pull in your SI joint. If that is too much, release your foot. It goes back behind your calf. Think about softening through your left glute. Still maintaining that gaze up, out past your right fingertips. And then slowly squeeze and pull your knees back to your center line and let them drift over to that opposite side. Turn and look out past your left fingertips. Relax and release to the outside of your hip. Breathe into your belly. Soften through your hip. And slowly bring your knees back to your center. Pull your knees up into your chest and release your legs. Let the legs come wide. You can always point and flex through your toes. Kind of move and shift through your hips a little bit. And then take your left leg over the top of your right leg. I like to pull my leg down further so I can get a little bit more compression in the upper part of my thigh and my groin. And then you're going to point your right toes and take them back behind your left calf. And then the left arm comes underneath your right. Squeeze. Inhale. Extend. Exhale. Squeeze. Squeeze. We go for 8, 7, for 6, for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Release, arms come open wide, ground down and plant through your right foot, and then let the knees drop over the right as you turn and look out past your left shoulder. Soften through your right glute. Find that release in the low part of your back. Slowly pull your knees to your center. Squeeze the inside of your thighs as they move over to that opposite side. Big inhale here. Exhale, hold. One more time, big inhale. And slowly pull your knees back to your center. Pick your feet up off the mat. Release. Let your legs come wide. Again, you can kind of shift back and forth, side to side. Point to the toes and flex the toes, and then pull the inside of the thighs together to touch. Press the ceiling away. Bind your 2 big toes with your peace fingers. Big inhale. And then come into a happy baby. Kind of shift back and forth, side to side. You can come into a one-legged happy baby. But we have the tendency a lot of times in one-legged to like really shift over to the right-hand side and draw that femur bone down to the earth. That's not bad, but try to keep both of your SI joints, right, the low part of your back and sacrum down as you pull. And then same thing on that opposite side, right? So just find the balance in your movement, right? Don't always go really heavy to one side without trying to balance things out in the middle. Big inhale. Exhale, hold. One more time, big inhale. And slowly bend both knees, rock back and forth side to side, and then send the soles of the feet high to the sky. Point up to the toes, and then exhale. Take the legs all the way down. Inhale up. Exhale down for 8, 7, 6, 5, for 4, for 3, last 2, and 1, and then go ahead and rock and roll on your spine. Take yourself over your knees and shins. I'm just gonna check the time. We got time. All right. Wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Shifting back and forth, side to side. Doing some small circles through your hips here. For 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, and then take it back the other way for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1, and then bring yourself back into your center. Take your hands towards the top of the mat. Drop down through your heart and chest. Puppy pose. Press down through the tops of your feet. Exhale, hold here. 2 more big breaths. Big inhale. Exhale. One more time, big inhale. And then shift yourself forward. Draw your hips down to the earth. Bring yourself into a sphinx pose and pull your toes to point them towards your head. And then rock your head back ever so slightly. Big inhale here. Exhale, the tops of the feet come down to the earth. Let your elbows sway out to the side, and then hands come to your heart line. Send yourself back into a child's pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, bring yourself back into your table. I'm gonna come into one more. It's a fixed firm posture. Please be mindful in this one, everyone. Bring your heels towards your seat. To rest on your heels first to start. If this is a lot, this is where your posture is. You can always take your knees a little bit wider. If that feels better on your knees, but try to keep them together. If that feels okay, you spread your heels and you take your seat in between your heels. Knees are still touching. If that feels okay, you take your hands back behind you and kind of pop up through your chest. And then you lower down elbow by elbow onto your forearms. Maybe you stay here. If that feels okay, you walk your elbows in and creep your hands up, your soles of your feet to your heels. Pop your chest up, pull your chin down towards your chest. And then take your hands back behind you, grabbing for your opposite elbows and popping up high through your chest as you tuck your chin down towards your chest. Breathe here. Keep breathing, nice deep inhale. And exhale. One more time, big inhale. And then exhale. You come out of it the same way that you went in. Hands grab onto your heels and you kind of walk yourself up the soles of your feet towards your toes. Come up onto one forearm and then the other. Shift yourself off of your shins and then you kick your legs out in front of you. Move and shift your hips back behind you. Keep a bend in your knees, an ever so slight bend as you make sure your sit bones are back behind you. Arms rise and then lay yourself down and over the tops of your thighs. The crown of your head pulls towards the tops of the feet. Big. Low belly pulls in towards your spine to support you. And then you slowly start to walk back through your hips to straighten through your legs as the crown of the head moves towards the tops of the feet. Breathe into your back body, exhale. One more time, big inhale. And then exhale, slowly walk your hands up your shins. Scoot your seat forward. And then lower yourself all the way down to your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself one more big hug. Chin in towards your chest. One last big compression on your thyroid. Try swallowing a couple of times. And then release. Back the skull comes all the way down to the earth. And then legs slowly make their way all the way down to the earth. Toes pop out to the side, palms come down to the side. You can use your elbows to pop your heart and chest up, or your shoulder blades underneath you. Tuck your chin in towards your chest, your hand in your heart. One hand can come to your heart, one hand can come to your belly. You can swap out your hands, you can keep them at the sides, you can keep them down if you want to be more grounded. But just allowing yourself to breathe here, a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Again, nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Stay with your breath here. Divine Feminine is where it's going to land today. Since the one prior to this was Divine Masculine. So, and just so folks know, I've recently been pulling from The Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvie, Transmissions for Your Soul. I really like this book. Divine Feminine. Shine your inner light on your desires. Look beyond the obvious and the superficial into the heart of the matter. Peer deeper into the hidden and explore the mysterious. Remember your vast potential and the unlimited possibilities that are available to you. It is time to trust your intuition, your inner voice, and your instincts. This may also be a time for stillness, for there are unseen forces at work, orchestrating the whole universe to bring intense and beautiful experiences to your life. Allow yourself to receive all that you want. You are the mother of all that you create. So nurture yourself and all that flows within and around you. There may be an impending marriage or birth around you, either physically or symbolically. The Divine Feminine wants you to know that there's always enough to go around. Abundance is everywhere. So embrace your joy. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale. We're getting big in here. And exhale. Hands to heart center, or they can rest down on your heart and belly again. If you want to come up into a simple seat, you always have that option, but I always encourage folks to stay on their backs and allow yourself just to breathe for a while. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, the divine love in me sees, honors, and reflects. The divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the divine love and light within each of you, the collectively in all of us. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me. Miss Jane, you especially. You all can thank Jane too, since she commissioned this series. That being said, you can always contribute and donate. My information is down below. But when you do leave, be sure to go in peace. And remember to serve love always. This top is from Athleta, y'all. I like it a lot, but it's not one for yoga because it has a crisscross back with kind of a bump. And so I wouldn't necessarily do this. This would be a great one, I think, to run in because it's compression on the sides. Or just to hang out in a pair of high-waisted pants because apparently I'm a 1980s mom. All right, everybody. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. When you leave your mats, be sure to go in peace. And remember to serve love always. Thanks so much, y'all. I'll see y'all soon.